The sun was barely lifting over the quiet neighborhood when Officer Marcus Hale saw a tiny figure sprinting across the parking lot of the Willow Creek Police Station. Her small shoes slapped against the pavement, her hair messy, her backpack half open, and her cheeks streaked with tears. She couldn't have been more than 7. She stopped right in front of him, panting so hard she could barely speak, and then she grabbed his hand with both of hers. In a trembling voice that broke the morning calm, she pleaded, "Please follow me home. Please, it's my mom." The urgency in her eyes cut deeper than any siren ever had. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that remind us humanity still exists, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Touch of Kindness truly helps these life-changing stories reach more hearts. Marcus had seen fear before, but never like this, raw, desperate, and clinging to hope. Without hesitation, he signaled to Officer Jenna Ortiz, and the two followed the little girl, whose name they soon learned was Aria Venton. She ran with the kind of speed that came from terror, constantly looking back to make sure the officers were still with her. The neighborhood was calm, birds chattering, sunlight glinting off windows. Aria's urgency made every step feel heavy, like the world itself had paused to listen. When they reached her worn-down townhouse, Aria pushed open the door with trembling hands. The officers entered cautiously, but what they found stopped them in their tracks. Not danger, but a heartbreaking stillness. On the living room couch lay a woman curled on her side, struggling to lift her head. Aria ran to her instantly, kneeling beside her. "Mom, they came to help," she whispered. The woman, Claire Venton, gave a tired, apologetic smile that carried years of unspoken battles. Claire hadn't been attacked. She hadn't been abandoned. She had simply collapsed under the weight of exhaustion, hunger, untreated illness, and the crushing pressure of trying to raise a child alone while working 3 jobs. The house wasn't dirty, it was simply empty, empty of food, empty of support, empty of anyone who knew how badly this mother was silently drowning. Aria had woken up to her mother barely conscious on the floor, and with no relatives, neighbors at work, no phone service. She did the only thing she could. She ran. While paramedics were called, Officer Jenna knelt beside Aria and held her small hand. The little girl tried to stay brave, her chin trembling as she explained through quiet, shaky breaths how her mom always said they'd be okay, how she tried to smile even when coughing, how she hid her pain so Aria wouldn't worry. But children always know. And that morning Aria realized her mom's strength had finally run out. As paramedics lifted Claire onto a stretcher, she pleaded softly, barely audible, "Please, please don't take Aria away." Her voice cracked on the last word. That single sentence shattered the air. Marcus assured her they were not there to separate them. They were there to help. At the hospital, doctors confirmed Claire had severe dehydration, untreated anemia, and extreme fatigue, conditions made worse by overwork and lack of resources. But she would recover. Aria heard that. She clung to Officer Jenna in relieved sobs, her tiny body shaking as days of fear finally poured out. Marcus couldn't shake the image of the bare refrigerator back at their home, or the little girl's hopelessly brave decision to run for help. Jenna spent the next 2 days gathering support. Local charities donated meals, neighbors offered clothing, and an anonymous donor, Marcus suspected Jenna, paid several months of rent so Claire could heal without fear. When Claire was finally released, she walked into her home to find a stocked kitchen, fresh bedding, repaired lights, and a small desk for Aria to study at. Claire broke down, covering her face as tears slipped through her fingers. Aria hugged her waist tightly as the officers stepped back quietly, giving them space. Before leaving, Claire whispered her gratitude, her voice steadier now but thick with emotion. "Thank you for saving my daughter, and for saving me. This story touched your heart in any way, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps us bring more real, powerful stories to you."